Welcome back to Unconventional Itinerary. My name is Heather, and in this video I'm just going to cover some of the common misconceptions that people actually think when you tell them as a single mom that you're going to be traveling the world with your kids. So if you're interested in hearing about what these common misconceptions are, so if you're interested to hear about what people are actually saying, stay tuned in this video. Many times as a single mom, we really don't get the support that we really need or deserve. There are times the best tribe to have is the tribe that's surrounded by like-minded moms who all get each other and just want the best for their children and just want to travel the world. Now, I know I have not been the only one who has had comments made to me or questions asked about why am I traveling the world with my daughter, or when we traveled last year to Asia, people were just like asking bizarre questions. So I reached out to one of my single mom travel groups and I asked within the group, what are some of the misconceptions or questions or concerns people might have, such as friends, family members, co-workers, strangers, when you mention that you're actually traveling the world with your kids. So I have a few of them right here. I'm just going to go through each one of them and let me know what you think at the end. So the first one I'm going to read is, you simply can't pay for all your hotels alone. I think this is actually pretty funny because hotels, when you're traveling, don't have to be expensive. There are places out there such like Airbnbs where you can get a whole apartment to stay in for like $16. We did it in Hong Kong. There are hotels that you can find super cheap. There's third-party booking apps such as Booking.com and Agoda, which offer discount prices on hotel stays and rooms. So that's pretty crazy also. Another thing that a lot of people don't know is that there are other programs out there such as homesteading, where you make an account and people that are going out of town that would like you to homestead for them or house sit for them, you apply for. It's kind of like an interview type ordeal. They do a background check and everything, and instead of you getting paid, you actually stay in their house. You could probably tend to their plants, tend to their dogs. They might want you to do some light work in the house while they're gone, and that's all you have to do, and it's free. So it's kind of like a win-win. So you simply can't pay for all your hotels alone. Yes, you can. Definitely, as a single mom, you can afford it. You can do it by yourself. All right, the next one is, where is your husband? Or, your husband lets you travel like this? This isn't the 1950s. Not everyone is married anymore. There's a lot of happy single people out there traveling, and they don't need a husband's permission at all. You don't have to have a husband to travel the world whatsoever. So, no husbands needed to travel the world at all. Alright, this one's pretty interesting too. Moms that are traveling like this are usually running from something or someone, or they don't know what their route is. So with this one, it could be a possibility. Yes, you could be running from something or someone. There are times that I found that a lot of women are in or have suffered from abusive relationships, and they're trying to get away from that. And the best thing they could do is travel. Out of sight, out of mind, new environments. It definitely has a lot of impact on your mental health, being in a new environment, especially with your kids, and not having to worry about, a toxic environment. And they don't know what their route is. Normally people have to find their route. I don't think I can say that you start off at one moment in your journey, whatever you're doing, and you follow that same route the entire time. It always branches off here or there. So everyone's journey is different. So yes, they won't know what their route is, but they do have an idea of where they want to go. The next one is, traveling is just a phase. You will feel all alone and return back home. I really think this is a hit or miss. I know for some people, they get homesick, they want to return back home, but this doesn't really apply to everyone. There are some people that, only they need, maybe a week away from home and they're good while they're traveling. There's other people that could travel for months and, years at a time and not actually feel homesick at all. Let's see. Traveling outside the U.S., which is the United States, is dangerous. If you live in America, America is very much dangerous. Every city, every state, there are parts of these areas that are dangerous. And I feel like everywhere in the world, there are parts of the world that are dangerous. There are good cities, and then there are bad cities. So as far as traveling outside the U.S. is dangerous, I think that's definitely not true at all. I highly suggest traveling outside the U.S. Right, the next one is the only way you can travel so much or that long is because you have a sugar daddy. There is just a really big misconception that women cannot make money or cannot afford nice things or anything in life unless they have a man. And we are living in 2020 where millions of women are making their ends meet by having their own business, they're entrepreneurs, they're helping other women. There's so many branches of income where it's not just limited to us just going to a 9-to-5, slaving there all day and coming home. There's a lot of women that work remote. There's a lot of jobs out there where you as a woman can make a good amount of money to live off of and still be able to travel, whether you want to travel full-time or whether you want to travel part-time. Traveling by yourself is too dangerous. You can get yourself and your child kidnapped. So I think with this, there are, kidnapping and sex trafficking is really big all over the United States, and I'm pretty sure it's just as big in other countries. I think that people that like to, think this way, it's just they're spreading fear. I think that you have to be aware of your surroundings, whether you're in the United States or whether you were, in Europe or Africa or Australia, anywhere. You have to be aware of your surroundings. And if you put yourself in a situation that is not safe, then yes, it can be dangerous. But the likelihood of that happening, if you're aware of your surroundings, is very slim. All right, the next one is traveling full-time are for single people who don't have kids or for older people who are retired whose kids are all grown. All right, this is crazy. Maybe in the 90s, we all thought that you work your 65 years or 50 years and then you retire and you travel the world with your husband or your spouse or whoever, or you're in your 30s and your 40s and you have no kids and you can, travel freely throughout the world. This is totally a misconception. Traveling is for everyone. There's so much of the world that's out there that hasn't even been discovered. There's so much culture to learn about. There's so much food to enjoy. There's so many memories to make. And it's not just geared toward the single people. It's not just geared toward the retired people or the elderly people. It's geared toward everyone. Our kids should be experiencing this because our kids are our future. They're the ones that are going to be working on the technology when we're gone. They're the ones that are going to be making the changes in the world and having a voice in the world. So why not expose them to everything as much as you can, whether you're able to go to another city or go to another country. As long as you're still learning, you can still travel. It doesn't matter whether you're traveling inside the United States or outside the United States. All right, and this is the last one. You are being neglectful by forcing your child into this lifestyle and are depriving them of having any actual friends. So this one kind of hits home because I don't have the support that I wish I had from my family, because they feel that, my daughter should be in school and whatever time the school, I don't even know what time the schools are in session here. They feel that she needs to be around more kids, learning a certain way, and I'm just highly against it. I feel that your child shouldn't have to be forced to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, to wait outside in the cold, to go on a school bus, to go sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day with people that they probably don't even like, reading misguided information that the school board and the government wants your child to learn. Because let's, state facts. As you're older, you realize half the stuff that you read in school was not even facts. It was a lot of useless information that was not true, that wanted to get your mind into thinking a certain way, like a robotic way. And I just think that you don't have to do that. You have the Google, the internet. You can teach your child. There's curriculums out there where you can do a whole curriculum and teach your child, you know, whatever you want to teach your child. If you want to focus on Native American history, you can focus on Native American history. If you want to focus on African American history or African history, you know, you can focus on that. If you want to take your child on a field trip and spend several days exploring a certain area or a certain culture, you can do that. And being, you know, forced into a school where you know, there's field trips, but what are you learning from field trips? You know, I can count how many times I've been to the Philadelphia Zoo. You know, I can't even count any time where I actually went somewhere. I was like, oh my gosh, this was so cool. I learned so much. You know, this is interesting. I just felt that, you know, the school system forces you into this little box where you don't have to be put in this box. You don't have to put your kids in a box. There's so much for them to see. There's so much for them to hear. There's so much for them to listen to. So as far as forcing them into this lifestyle and depriving them of having any actual friends, that's really not true, because for my daughter, she's had pen pals. We've had pen pals all over the States. We've had pen pals in other countries. We were just in London back in September. We were in London, and we met up with one of our Facebook friends. Her daughter was about Mackenzie's age too, and you know, I don't understand. I think people are so stuck in like the 1950s where, you know, they think of homeschooling or unschooling, which we do, which means your kid is stuck at home. They're not socializing with anyone. You know, they don't have friends, you know, and it's just different now with the technology. You know, Mackenzie may not see her friends here that are local every day or every week, but she still talks to them. She still FaceTimes them. She has that socialization. You know, she's not like a weird kid that, you know, shows up and, you know, doesn't know how to talk to people, you know, really antisocial. So yeah, so these were the misconceptions that I just wanted to share with everyone. And, you know, not everyone's going to agree with you. You'll have more people not agree with you than people that agree with you. So this is why I said at the beginning, it's really important to have a tribe of individuals that get you, that understand what you're trying to do, that are also on the same path, not the same journey, but on the path do they want to travel with their kids. They want to show their kids the world. They want to homeschool. They want to unschool. They want to be able to work remotely so they can, you know, travel more with their kids. There's just so much out there where you don't need to be working that 9 to 5. You don't have to put your kids in the before school program, the regular school program, then the after school program. So if you are traveling or thinking about traveling, what are some things that your family, friends, coworkers, strangers have said to you that made you question, like, what? Like, where do these questions even come from? So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can hit that at the bottom. And all the questions that I did ask are going to be at the bottom. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye!